Good day, ladies, NBs, and etceteras. I'm Cassidy, the trans-Canadian woman, not the other one, and welcome to the 13th episode of Facts and Features. This is a Valentine's Day episode, made with as much love as I could put in it, because if you're a Hitman fan who's invested enough in the game to watch my videos, you likely either have a partner who's also interested enough to watch this with you, or you've no way to do anything better with today. I didn't really have an idea for any theme that binds all the facts I'm presenting today, so as my Valentine's Day gift to you, please enjoy what I call a Facts and Features casserole. I've just thrown whatever Hitman knowledge I have in the house into this, and am desperately hoping it tastes good enough to serve. If it does taste good, remember to like and subscribe. First, a fact I cannot believe I've never shared before. If you shoot any surface that's a decent way away from an NPC, they'll go to investigate it, just as if you'd thrown something there.
Just checking out the strange sound.
Be careful though, hearing two bullet impacts too close to each other, or both the impact and a gunshot noise, will panic an NPC.
I need some help here, right now.
Sometimes panic can be desirable though. Panicking a civilian with 2 shots makes them unable to see you trespassing. And panicking a guard with 3 shots makes them unable to see you at all, provided you move away from where you shot at them.
Give him all you got. I hear you loud and clear.
I lost sight of suspect. Can anyone see him?
Negative.
If you're a little too close to shoot near someone, have you tried just shooting nowhere? If your gun's silenced and you're not literally right next to someone, they'll likely hear the gunshot noise and turn around to investigate it. If you want to be safe or do this with a loud gun, you can also discharge every bullet you have, and NPCs will be able to hear the clicking noise of your now empty gun. This is especially fun to toy around with, because NPCs aren't panicked when they hear it multiple times. Alternatively, if you want to make sure NPCs don't hear your gunshots, I recommend using the Krugermeyer 2.2, unlockable in the Elusive Target Arcade or with Mastery in Bangkok, Mendoza, or Freelancer. This gun is practically completely silent, making it useful for all your distraction, destruction, and assassination needs. Even if you shoot it literally right next to someone, they won't panic.
This area is restricted.
The downside to all of this is that the Krugermeyer does much less damage in actual combat, and it's a little less accurate than a Silverballer, so you'll want to stick to stealth when using it. One way to potentially stick to stealth is to use instinct to shoot through walls. Okay, it's usually not that simple, but it's worth remembering that guns can shoot through a lot of surfaces. Transparent glass is the obvious candidate, but there's also a lot of opaque glass you can shoot through, like this door and these railings in Tyson Williams' villa. Paper can also be shot through, which is particularly helpful if you want to do something straight out of a Bond film in Hokkaido.
Target down. Now, it's time for soldiers to retire.
And last but not least, plastic can also be shot through, which can get pretty fun in the hospital in Patient Zero.
Target down. That's the end of Owen Cage and hopefully the end of this threat.
Sometimes NPCs can instantly spot you, even if they don't have a white dot above their head. If you're going for Silent Assassin, I'd recommend checking your minimap to see if an alerted NPC is highlighted in white. If the map says they're an enforcer, but the action on screen contradicts that, they may be ready to start unloading on 47.
Could be you for all I know.
You know what?
Speaking of instantly getting spotted, if you're too close to someone while you kill them with a taser and water, you'll be enforced by anyone who sees you for a short time, even if they didn't see the kill itself.
Oh my god. You're in trouble, young man. All sorts of trouble.
Shit! I'm Hitman! Fuck!
If you kill every single NPC in Scale, the game spawns a number of armored knights, giving 47 one last challenge in his pursuit of mass murder. These guards are fully armored and immune to melee weapons, meaning they have a massive health pool and can't be killed easily. Even the Seeger 300 Ghost isn't any match for their armor.
I'll stay back and finish this job. Away from here now.
And the ICA-19's almighty headshot multiplier still needs 2 shots to kill.
Try to kill me! I need some help, guys!
Mendoza has a number of benefits that are exclusive to certain suits. I've already mentioned in Facts and Features number 8, the Midnight Black suit gives you access to the exterior of Don Yeates' villa, but both wetsuits also allow you to use the diving exit underneath the villa. Granted, that's not very useful because of the wetsuit in the other room, but it might at least be helpful when doing suit-only challenges. There's also the Requiem suit, which gives you a special exit at the shrine behind Yates' house. Some of you might be wondering which level in Blood Money, the game where the Requiem suit originates from, this could potentially be a reference to, and to my knowledge, it's none of them. I think IOI just wanted to hide this behind some kind of suit because it's an Easter egg, and the white suit just happened to be the best fit. If only we had a suit from Hitman 2 Silent Assassin, the most Catholic of Hitman games.
Padre, I have sinned.
Avanti, figlio mio. Continue, my son.
I have done some terrible things in my life. I have killed many people.
Speaking of benefits for suits from old Hitman games, here's a reminder for everyone that a new bat makes a special noise whenever you hit someone with it.
Is that... No.
And it's completely legal to carry around if you're in the clown outfit.
Invite only, sir.
Target Klaus Liebeleid and hospital director Kira Nakamura both carry keys to a safe in the latter's office in the mission Patient Zero. Inside the safe is a lethal syringe, which is basically the worst possible weapon to use in Patient Zero, a mission where at least 50% of your targets will kill you if you get within a few meters of them.
47, You're infected. You will need to find a solution for that.
I believe this is a remnant of the cancelled Patient Zero elusive target, which was originally planned to be extremely restrictive. You'd have to eliminate Owen Cage with a lethal syringe while wearing a hazmat suit, and steal the research into the bioweapon he's infected himself with. This syringe must have been placed in the level so players who couldn't bring one in would still be able to complete the mission. Thankfully, this awful idea for an elusive target was scrapped, late enough that there's a briefing for it in the game's files and it was complete enough to have that syringe, but too soon to be run in the game. Instead, it joined a few other scrapped elusive targets and being reworked for the Patient Zero DLC campaign, and became my most favorite mission in the Hitman franchise. It's literally impossible to kill Soders in a way that is not Silent Assassin. If you shoot his heart and the people responsible for it notice, all they have to say is this.
Hey, quick question.
Shoot.
This donor heart thing. I mean, I'm no surgeon or anything, but it looks kind of, I don't know, broken? Did someone come in and do something to it?
What? No, I've been here the whole time.
Yeah, sure, but it just looks like it's full of holes.
Well, if it's got holes in it, they must have been there when the heart arrived. It is a donor heart, yeah?
Yeah.
So, they probably pulled it from some gangster who got shot. So it makes sense it's got a few holes. I'm sure they'll patch it up in surgery.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, good talk.
Most of the opportunities to kill Soders personally involve accidents, but even if you avoid those and shoot him in plain sight, nobody gives a shit, as Merchandise and I found when he was doing the absurd Hitman challenge.
Hey.
Nobody saw a thing! Silent Assassin!
Silent Assassin, baby!
The same is true for CR Knox. Literally anything can happen on the racetrack, and everyone will act normal.
Target down.
Even if you get Papa Knox to blow her up, which ends with him realizing you're a murderer who's being contracted by Providence and confronting you directly, your disguise isn't compromised in any way.
How did you?
The non-target kill is due to a glitch that was introduced by Hitman 3.
I see.
If you force open the main entrance to Rico Delgado's mansion grounds, its guards aren't content with standing back and continuing to watch. Two of them will actually move outside and form a checkpoint, turning the space in front of the door into a trespassing area. It also doesn't work like a normal checkpoint. The guards don't warn you for approaching it, and you'll immediately lose Sound Assassin if you cross it, but it's still really cool.
Stay back. This area is restricted. Now you follow me. Are we clear? And you're free to move on, sir. Have a nice day.
This is incredibly inconsistent, but can be very fun. The Executive Briefcase Mark II, which flies comedically slowly, can help you quickly and silently dispose of people in pairs. Simply throw the briefcase at one person, shoot the other in the leg, and throw a second throwable at the shot person as the briefcase knocks out the first. Whether or not the second person spots the first's body is entirely up to how they ragdoll, so you should definitely save before attempting this, but as you can see, I still have Silent Assassin. You can blow up virtually any car with 2 shots. Just make sure to hit the lower piece of the back of the vehicle where the gas tank is, and then shoot the gas pedal below to detonate it. I've mentioned in the last episode that fire extinguishers can get accident knockouts on NPCs, and while recording that episode, I found my new favorite way to use this. Just bring a breaching charge in a briefcase, insert the former into the latter, and drop it next to any fire extinguisher for an undetectable accident knockout.
Okay.
It's the state of the nation. Sorry, sir. You dropped something.
Remember that the briefcase is also a suspicious item, so the first person who sees it will be lured towards your explosive trap as they attempt to defuse it. And this can also be used in Freelancer. If you can't bring a briefcase for whatever reason, you can just go fishing for a piece of driftwood, which doesn't take up any inventory slots.
Sir, please refrain from sneaking around like that. Making me uncomfortable.
If you dispose of whoever's watching the cameras, they will actually be unable to spot you, only recording 47. Unfortunately, first, a lot of maps have more than one person watching the cameras. And second, there's not much point in doing this when getting recorded still voids Silent Assassin, and you can disable both the spotting and recording functions of the cameras by simply shooting the box. Generally in Hitman, guards, soldiers, and any other variety of security are permitted to have any gun they want, as long as it's not a sniper. However, for whatever reason, big guns are illegal for club security in Berlin. In addition to this, I lied for that previous fact. Not about the Berlin thing, that's legit. But some guard disguises allow you to carry snipers, including these elite guards in Dubai, the Pointmans in Colorado, and the bikers in Berlin, shockingly enough. If there's another disguise you're thinking of, I don't think anybody likes that map. I know this sounds like a fake fact I would make up in a self-aware April Fool's Day video making fun of my actual facts, but I swear this fact is as true as it is submitted by community and Discord server member Merchandise. Janus has an exceptionally large cactus. In fact, he has 2 cacti, both of which are absurdly big. His cactus wasn't as big in Hitman 2 when Whittleton Creek originally released, but at some point in Hitman 3's development, before or after launch, his cactus was broken and dramatically increased in size. This might be related to the cacti of another old man, Don Yates, which hangs out in the villa living room. And it's about the same size as Janus's, but contained with a much larger pair of plant pots. The game thinks 47's camera is a gun. Pointing at Diana makes her reference her bumpy relationship with 47.
I'm getting an unpleasant case of déjà vu, 47.
Even though all you're shooting her with this time is film.
I didn't know you were the nostalgic type, 47.
And people comment on it when you whip it out.
Why don't you secure that weapon, buddy? You don't need it right now.
In defense of the NPCs who worry about it, bullets do come from the camera. It's just that they come from the player's camera, not 47's.
Anybody there?
That means when you're next to a wall, you can do the third-person shooter classic of standing entirely behind it while shooting enemies without risk or consequences. Also, while I'm giving combat tips, remember that Hitman's AI is programmed to try to flank your position, so the best places to hold out are dead ends. Now, IOI doesn't like dead ends because they aren't particularly interesting map design, but bathrooms are in virtually every mission, and almost always have exactly one entrance and exit, so they're a great position to slaughter entire maps worth of guards from. If you're like me and occasionally chill at 47's house, basically using it as a screensaver, remember that you can always change the time of day by simply quitting the mission and restarting Freelancer. Hitman 3 altered the animations for when 47's in cover. This is a fine change in most aspects, but it does mean the intro animation for the main entrance to Colorado, which sets up 47 being in cover, now ends with him abruptly snapping from the Hitman 1 and 2 cover pose to the new Hitman 3 pose.
Holy crap! Okay! Drop! Don't let him take control.
You can blow the lids of these crates in scale to pieces with guns. This also applies to other crates, including in Romania,
Shooter on the scene! Find him! I'm dead. What the? I saw that!
and the rage escalation from 7 Deadly Sins. Speaking of rage, if you're ever struggling with the escalation's time restraints, remember that you can just knock out one of the targets and leave them alive until you're done setting up traps and collecting equipment.
Fire at will!
These chairs in Romania are physics objects, which I think is pretty neat. Most explosive devices detonate when blown up. Grenades, however, do not. I've found more uses for the remote EMP charge. One kind commenter pointed out that it can actually open the vault to New York, bypassing the security lock. If you get past the lock yourself, you can also use it to turn off the security lasers inside.
Great work, 47. You now have access to the vault.
And I figured out myself that it can also open the observatory in Sapienza, but only if you manage to get it close enough to the external panel. It doesn't work on the computer inside. Sure, it's only 1 out of 2 possible uses, but that's still better integration of the EMP than Hitman 3. In this episode of Look Up for God's Sake, have you ever seen the upper portion of Zachary's room in Dartmoor? Somehow, I've just completely missed the skylights and plants up there, but they're gorgeous. Amazingly, despite both the whole murdering his brother thing and the being dead before the level starts thing, Zachary might be my favorite character in Dartmoor. And on that note, I think I've shared enough facts for now. Please like and subscribe if you liked or subscribed to this video, and consider sharing it with any friends of yours who also enjoy Hitman. If you have no friends who enjoy Hitman, I have a Discord server linked below that has about a dozen people who like the game, and a few hundred who are gay and/or trans. Thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day.